Good afternoon on what is a bright, clear and mild day. It is Monday the 17th of January and I'm back in the Read Nook with a pile of parcels to unbox, accompanied by a cat who's not ours and a nice hot cup of tea. And I'm going to delve into this big box of things. I've pulled out several things already. So let's see what we've got. I'm just going to reach into. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Into the bottle. Find out what I have got in here. Lots of packing material, of course. And this has come courtesy of the US, my friend Keith, who has been kind enough to send stack all these things up for me and forward them on, because postage from the States, a little more than you might want to pay, unfortunately. So I'll get this open. Let's get the fight my way into it, of course. And there we are. Okay, finally got into it. And so first of all, I've got a copy of the Goodman Games Gazette, which is what they include with every box set. So you know that this box set is for Lankhmar. The Greatest Thieves in Lankhmar, a level 3 adventure for Dungeon Crawl Classics Lankhmar. Now this is published last year, and I think the Lankhmar box set, but year before that. And it uses the Dungeon Crawl Classics engine, which is a retro clone derived ultimately from sort of like 3rd edition, but is very much its own thing, with extensive spell tables and rewritten classes. And also, Lankhmar itself is very much its own thing, with everyone plays a thief or a variation upon a thief. Even though you might have magic and you might be a better fighter, but you're a thief. And there's lots of luck, and it's all based upon the works of Fritz Leiber. And so, Dungeon Crawl Classics Lankhmar, The Greatest Thieves in Lankhmar, a level 3 adventure. From the most famous city in the history of fantasy comes a sword and sorcery adventure that only the best gamers will survive. The Greatest Thieves in Lankhmar is a Dungeon Crawl Classics adventure that sends the characters into the hot cellars beneath a thieves' house, across the city rooftops of the city of 7,000 smokes, and onto a mad dash through the palace of the Overlord. This box set comes with everything you need to run an epic adventure over several sessions, whether you run it standalone or as part of an ongoing campaign. When you open the box, you'll be in the company of the legends. The Greatest Thieves in Lankhmar was first run as a tournament at Gen Con 2019, where 20 nationally competitive teams competed over 4 fantastic days and 3 hard-fought rounds. Characters died alone, lost beneath thieves' house as their torches burnt out one by one. After 44% of tables experienced TPKs and nearly 6 in 10 PCs were killed, one team survived to win the tournament. How will your players compare? Inside this box you will find a 68-page booklet containing the adventure, a 20-page book of player handouts, a 16-page player pack, a 48-page judges pack, a 12-page scoring sheet, die-cut luck tokens for using fleeting luck at the table, 4 pages of die-cut rooftop chase tokens, a huge 44-inch long rooftop chase map to simulate the chase across the rooftops of Lankhmar, plus Dicing with Death, a complete standalone bonus adventure designed to be deployed with characters when characters die in the main adventure. So that's the back. So this is it's not another source book or setting, it's a complete adventure. And it's not often that for Dungeon Crawl Classics that you get more than one box set for a setting. Well, they've done a few box sets, but they really tend to be standalone. And of course, you do need Lankhmar to run this. So essentially, you need Dungeon Crawl Classics, the Lankhmar box set, and this. So let's get inside and find out what it's like. Trying to break the plastic. There we go. Plastic broken. Put that out of the way. So let's open it up. It's quite tight, but that's fine. I will get that. I will get there, I promise you. And inside, first off, we've got the book. Show you. So this is the full adventure. And basically, you've got the blurb on the back, the same as on the box, and this is fantastic. Open up the page. That's a fantastic piece of artwork. You know, Greatest Thieves in Lankhmar, and you see the characters being chased across the roofs of the city, and they've used it to spell out the word Lankhmar. That's a really nice done piece of artwork. That's fantastic. And then I will get into it. Judge's note on tournament rules, format, the adventure background, and round one beneath the thieves' house. Now remember that the thing is with games like Dungeon Crawl Classics, and then you go back in history and you're looking at Dungeons and Dragons and its iterations. There is a thing about tournament play. There is a thing about turning the publishers coming to a convention and bringing their best adventures to test players from all across the country, even all across the world in some cases, and thus you have born scenarios like A1 to the series, the Slave A1 to 4, Slavers series, and others that would begin life as tournament scenarios and then go on to be you will be able to buy them from your friendly local gaming store. And this is in that tradition. So yeah, that's the map. Always with Dungeon Crawl Classics, the Goodman Games titles, the maps are really well done and nice and clear. Just a great range of artwork that capture the feel. The setting. And they've really gone to town with this. I mean, you know, they're always good artwork, but there's even more of it in here. Let me see if I'm not going to show you the whole thing because it's not going to spoil it for you, but you can see what it's like. And yeah, again, just fantastic artwork throughout. See if I can find any more good artwork. That's by Bradley McDivitt. Whom I've worked with on... I have worked with him on the Age of Cthulhu line in the past. Basically going back and forth between each other, going, how do you want the layout of these seats in this train to be? I want them like this. And it took a while to get that right, but that's, you know, there's nothing wrong in that, you know. So yeah, more good artwork. The great thing is that when I did actually meet him at Gen Con, you know, I picked up a piece of his artwork from one of the scenarios we worked on together. So, you know, I had that to remind myself, you know, of the process, and yeah, he's a nice guy. So yeah, that is that's the book, again full of this great artwork. And then next we have the Handouts and Tiles. So we've got some kind of weird puzzle thing on the background, and handouts like that. Terrific artwork throughout, and just we have we've got the tiles for the movement as well. And then there's the player pack, which isn't quite as well produced. So we've literally got an introduction for the player here. Got changes from the previous year's tournament, player guidelines, frequently asked questions. So this is giving the history of the tournament and introducing it at the same time, and how to play a tournament RPG and Dungeon Crawl Classics, and then the new rules for 2019. And then we've got the pre-gens as well. So you've got a whole other. Oh, let's show you. I'll go the way around. There we go. Pre-gens for the characters. That's basically all the pre-gens. Next, we have the judge pack. That's for the referee. And here's here we've got the recap of it, and that's talking about how it went. I do like that sort of thing. You'll see a lot of recaps and stuff like that in the annual that Goodman Games produces each year for Gen Con, which they've begun to make more broadly available. I've managed to get hold of all of them. It took me a while to get hold of the first one, but I've been going through and reviewing those and so on. And we've got things like, deadliest tournament modules that they think of, most popular pre-gens, special awards for the characters, complete stats by room, all-time stats for judges. How did you do? How many player characters did you kill? It's almost turning into a sport, but but you've also got the results. And none of this is absolutely necessary to run the module, but it's extra icing on the cake, as it were. It's really talking about look, this is how we run it, here's what's happened, let's make a bit more bit more of it than just the module itself. So we've got now it's doing the same thing for the judges it did for the players, the changes to the rules, the schedule, and none of this is going to stop. Is going to really be of use if you're running this campaign, unless you're running it as a tournament, and that's probably not likely, since you're not going to get sort of like 20 or so characters as groups together and run it like they did. It would be amazing if that happened, but here we've got here's the tables for proceeding over the rooftops, I presume, all the way down. So that's, and then you've got notes on the back, just empty space. That's fine. Next, we have the scoring sheets. So we've got a critical hit tracker. But one of the things you can do, obviously, with all that information in the judges pack, is once you run it with your players, you go through and you start ticking off elements, going, okay, how did my players do? And you can see in comparison how well your players did against 20 other teams. So that's a nice touch. Can you beat your home group? Beat the Gen Con pros? At Gen Con 2019, the Greatest Thieves in Lankhmar claimed 83 character lives, and at Origins 2019, another 50 characters have failed. Now, for the first time, this Death Trap dungeon is presented in its entirety, and more. Run the entire adventure for the home group, use the tournament rules, and score it just like we did at Gen Con and Origins. Compare your scores to the 2019 Gen Con results to see how talented your players are. And even you can actually submit them to Goodman Games. Let's see what else we have got here. I'm just taking the whole lot out just to ease it. This, I've got a huge map of the floor. This is the map for running to the rooftop yes, hello. Chase. Then we have basically the Dicing with Death, a mini adventure for 2 to 8 level 3 to 4 seed Lankhmar characters. So you can run this when they die, and that's just the bonus. There it goes. That's a nice addition. Essentially, the characters have died. They go off to the bleak shore. And end up in a wild man gibbet. So yeah, that's like a nice bonus. You know, you've got one handout, which is handout A. You're dead, but your fate still hangs in the balance. And of course, we've got the typical advertising on the back of Goodman Games products. They still use that a lot. And the rest of the game is just tiles. And these are used for movement across the city tops. So what you've got is a really nice, solid package. In some ways, it's quite possibly the most overproduced adventure for Dungeon Crawl Classics. Certainly for Lankhmar. I mean, there are 11 scenarios available for Lankhmar, and they're all good. They're all fun. And this, of course, would fit it in with your characters when they're sort of like low level, and you can run a few adventures, then drop this on them, and then just keep going with the survivors. I'm not, well, when I say when this is overproduced, yes, it is overproduced, because essentially you could just boil it down to just that adventure and nothing else. But take fun, enjoy the amount of stuff you're going to get for just one adventure. It's really fantastically well produced. You get a lot in there. You're going to get a lot of play out of it, I think, and it's going to be a memorable adventure. So that is the Greatest Thieves in Lankhmar. The question is, are your players the Greatest Thieves in Lankhmar? Find out with this box set. So, thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, please do click the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you posting those. And if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me pull out a box and then take out a game or book and unbox it, and talk about it to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a cat who is not ours, and a nice hot cup of tea, then please do hit that subscribe button. Once again, thanks again for watching, and I'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook very soon. Bye for now.